Hey, we're the Flick Chicks.
Pretty much. So I guess we could go into like there's literally just there's no resolution. It just ends like that. So we can get into now what we liked and what we didn't like about
what we
the
didn't
movie.
like.
So
So I'll go first to give you a break, you know. So what I liked, I have two things I liked. I like Zendaya. I can't be unbiased
I
about
like
her.
three things.
She's my queen. I will never not love her. So that's point blank period. I still think, like, literally, I think she did good in her acting job. So did he. I just love Zendaya, so I'm gonna be with Zendaya to the day I die. Two, I like the music. I like the music that they played through the phone. I thought those were like really, like, I was like, oh, I'm probably gonna listen to those songs now. I didn't know about them. Those are the two things I liked. Literally, that's what I have. So I guess what I'm overall saying, what my overall thing is I think the acting was good. I think it was well done. And also I enjoyed the music. That's what I liked.
Yeah, mine is pretty much the same thing. I said I liked how the music, the like black and white and the kind of like minimal setting. I like it in theory. I guess I could say, like, I like it in theory because it reminded me a lot of like the like 60s movies, specifically the ones that are like based on plays, like Streetcar Named Desire is the one that came to mind. It just kind of reminded me of that same like vibe, and I kind of wish they made more movies like that, which I'll kind of explain later, because I like the concept of it, I guess. I'll get into more details about that later.
Yes,
but and yeah, I thought the acting was good for the most part, and like just like pretty good like cinematography. But that's
I like especially there was a scene where it's pretty cool where she was like smoking like through the door, and he was like going through the windows like coming to her, and that was like really cool. It's a very specific scene, but it was like he was talking and she was like not really paying attention to him, and they like panned to like him going through the windows and like meeting her. So it was pretty it was very pretty to look at. That was cool. So the cinematography was interesting.
That's
what I didn't like, let's say.
I have a list.
I also don't have a lot of things I didn't like because as in they're very specific, like large big picture things.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It's like one, obviously this is not necessarily my cup of tea as a genre, let's say, of like I don't even know, would you call it slice of life, character study, or like introspect? I don't even know what to call these kind of movies where it's like you're just looking at a part of someone's life, like you're getting just like a conversation or something like that.
There are a lot of movies like that. I feel
there are not. I think books utilize this a lot, as in books will do this in scenes. Like you'll have a scene where you're just reading the dialogue between two people, and like you have to kind of like short stories kind of do that more often. I've seen that in short stories. And I guess a short film, I don't watch that many short films, but I could see short films doing that. Like I feel like that would be a really good format for that, where you just kind of have like a 10-minute or 15-minute like introspective to somebody, a couple. Literally, honestly, this should have been a short film. I think that's what I think about this. One. Two, Malcolm, bruh, he actually made me feel like grossed out when he was talking about his exes. Like I actually was like, what? Like I literally, that's why I said the acting's good, because I felt
like
that.
I would say, like, I have opinions on the characters, but I feel like I can't say that as like my opinion on the movie, because it's like the characters are supposed to be bad people type of thing,
that's exactly my point is here is like nothing was messy / like sloppily done. Like I didn't doubt for a second that this is what they wanted to do. You know, it's just, that's not what I don't care for that personally. Like, that's just how I feel about that. So, like, I can't say I enjoyed the movie. I think it's a really niche, specific type of movie that's like, you know, I don't know, like, it's almost like not even a movie to me. Again, like, I feel like it's like a character study and like how people fight or something. Like, how it's like, I've never fought with a boyfriend or person for an hour long, but I can see that, like, I've heard like, oh, they have lulls in conversations, or like it is common, like especially if you're having, like, I heard someone say this on the interwebs where they talked about how it was kind of symbolic of how couples fight over like years. Like, you know, some couples will fight over the same thing over and over again because it's just like a reoccurring problem in their relationship that they can never like, you know, just solve. Yeah, so I kind of felt that about this. Like the whole underlying theme of the fight was like, you take me for granted. Like that's the whole point, is like he takes her for granted and he thinks she's like over dramatic about like her life. Like he thinks like I'm paying for stuff.
Like he thinks that I think he thinks that she's like painting herself as the victim type of thing.
Yes, like he's like, but like really you put me through a lot, like you you know, cheated on me, you did all this stuff, I helped you through rehab, all this stuff. So he thinks like he's earned his right almost to be like where he's at. And she feels like you think so little of me and you also are grateful for me. And that's the kind of fight that can happen over like years, you know, in a couple or a relationship. So someone kind of said like the movie almost was like a culmination of like year-long fights in like a movie. So again, to me it's almost, again, I barely think it's a movie. Like that's how I feel about it. It's almost not a movie. It's like it's like a play. It's like a short story, very much different style. So I guess that's the part that I would put it in I didn't like, because I guess I wouldn't enjoy that as like I would never rewatch this. First of all, I don't think anybody's rewatching this.
I don't think anyone's gonna rewatch this.
Yeah, I don't. But it's different.
Nice. I'm gonna roast it because like I have a lot of issues.
Ooh, go ahead.
Which is why I wanted to like do this, because I remember when I watched this, I immediately messaged Anne and I was like, can we please do an episode about this? A, because I just heard a lot of people talking about it and I was like, I can see all the talking points. And B, I just had like, the more I sat with it and the more I like read other people's perspectives too. Like a lot of people don't like to read reviews because they're like, no, I don't want it to mess up my perspective, whatever. But in this case, I felt like I needed to, because I'm like, I need to see what other people are thinking about this. And then like I saw what people are saying and I'm like, that makes so much sense. Yeah.
Okay. Because I didn't feel, just disclaimer, because I texted Monica when we did this. I was like, are people outraged by this or something? Because it's
not even like outrage. It's just
no, it's just like talking, a conversation topic. Because I was like, nothing about this movie has me under the impression that we're supposed to like root for them, because that would be a problem. Like if they were trying to present them as like an ideal couple. But I was like, nothing about this movie displayed that. So I thought there was like
no, it wasn't like any kind of outrage about like that. No, it's fine. Okay, well, anyway,
like talking.
Yeah, my personal opinion on it, it was just like so tiring to watch. I'm like, I don't. It's not enjoyable. Like it's not fun to watch people argue, especially like the way they were arguing. Like I get if it was like something very extraordinary that they were, but it was just like regular schmegular couple arguments because of like fundamental problems with their relationship. So I was like, okay, like, and I was just like, are you guys gonna like? That's why when she pulled out that knife, I was like, okay, good, something's happening. Like maybe she'll swipe at him or something. I don't know. But I was like, okay, like it was just really exhausting. I was like, it's not fun to watch people argue like that. It's really not. So I was just like waiting for it to be over. I was like, okay, like can something happen here? Yeah,
it was long. They didn't need to, again, make it a short film.
Yeah, again, like there's just no plot here. Like I didn't learn anything. I didn't take away anything. Like I felt like it had potential to. That's the problem. Where it's like I felt like it could have gone somewhere with the way the argument was going, but then it just fell flat. It was like, okay, like why? You kind of just finish it at the end. You're like, why did I watch that? Like what was the point?
They had good, I would say they had pretty good pacing throughout. Like the information we were learning was good. Like, oh, the film is based on me. And you're like, oh, okay. And like, oh, why didn't you?
And then they like slowly reveal more and more information. You know? Yeah, exactly. And then at the end, it's just kind of like ends. And then you're like, oh. So I just watched 2 hours of that for literally no reason.
I literally thought she was going to leave him by the end. I was
like, if at the end she ends up leaving him, it's like, okay, I watched the end of their relationship and I watched her finally make the decision to leave. Or like if they made up at the end, it's like, okay, I watched them working through this thing for them to only like their relationship to get stronger. No, it literally just ends and you're like, all right, like why did I spend the last 2 hours of my life doing that then? You know, so it's like I don't think every movie needs to have like a lesson, but you definitely have to take something away, like something. It could literally be the smallest thing. But with
like
this,
you can't end up in the same spot that you
I feel like at the end of this you literally just learned that I just spent 2 hours of people arguing for something that it has nothing to do with me. Like the other problem I had with it was like, I remember we talked about this in like our La La Land episode, I'm pretty sure, but like anytime Hollywood people make movies about people in Hollywood, I'm just like, ugh. Like it's just like an eye roll type of thing. Like his whole thing where it's like, oh, the critics, the movies, the whatever. I'm like, I can't relate to this. So like, no, I'm sorry, but I've never been in a situation where my movie director boyfriend based his movie, like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you can extrapolate a little bit and be like, oh, but it's representative of this kind of argument. But in this case, I was just kind of like, I don't think I'm ever gonna be in this situation.
No, there was no save the cat moment, which is like what people talk about, where even if someone's in a completely crazy situation that you would never be in, there's like something you oh my gosh, English. There's something relatable about them, or something like I guess human about them to make you relate. Like there was no part where I was like, okay, Malcolm is like a guy who's insecure and this is why he's like this. Like I don't know who Malcolm is.
Like the main problem with them was like she used to be a drug addict, now she's a aspiring actress. He's a director who's like very full. Like I feel like their whole thing was they were trying to do a thing where it was like, oh, when your partner doesn't appreciate you, but like I didn't feel that. I didn't feel like that was the main problem at all. I felt like the main problem was that he's just like so far up his own ass in terms of like a director, and he's so focused on being a movie director. Like, you know what I mean? I just felt like it was kind of just like, okay, and I'll get more into that later, but that's what I mean by like I really didn't take anything away from this, because like this is not a relatable argument at all. I feel like, so I was like, okay.